Hi. Hi. I did it right this time. Look at me. I am waiting for it to show up now. And that is all. And I will be closing Twitch on my... And I will be closing Twitch on... Ooh, I heard myself say that in my head. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's try this again. Ah, yes, an ad. I think I'm supporting Rebel Federation right now. Hello. Let me fix that. Okay, hello. I have figured things out. Yes, I still have the lozenge in my throat. Fine, still my tongue. This isn't FNAF, and that is because I can't stream from my living room right now. Well, my main room right now, which is where I normally stream FNAF. Because I have ye old Rona. Yes. I am excited to play this horror game. So this game is called Pumpkin Eater. I'm going to remember to do my warning. Yeah, so here's where I'm not doing FNAF. I have good old Rona, so I can't stream from a space other than my room right now. And my laptop happens to be a Mac, and FNAF is a Windows game. So we are making do with what we have. And I am playing a game from the Ukrainian bundle, which is in our Discord, in our announcements. If you scroll up a little bit, we have, this game is from there. It looks kind of exciting, but I am going to remember to do the warning. So the warning: this story contains child endangerment and graphic depictions of violence and human decomposition. When I was reading the description, sorry, the lozenge is still there. It's been in my mouth for half an hour now. Wow. Okay. When I was reading the store page about this, it said basically that this game was going to be 100% medically accurate. So be ready for that. And it's about a family with, I think the kid's dead, with a pumpkin for a head. So let's just hop into it. I'm hoping there's voice acting in it because we all know that I do not have it in me right now. I have them enabled, just so you know. I'm not censoring it. I'm not. Oh, I do have to read. Nobody knew how it happened. Okay. A boy barely reaching double digits in years was lying dead in the driveway. Gray and red pulp was painted everywhere. Back the car up already. How did he get under there? Laying down to draw? Some freak force of nature? I'm trying, woman! An innocent life was taken too soon, and too violently. Was it the will of some cruel god? No, they weren't. A woman ran to the body, attempting to reattach fragments of jaw back onto the skull. One figure jumped out of the car in pursuit, while the other was frozen in place outside. She had watched the whole event Sorry, the lozenge, like, stuck itself to the top of my mouth. This is weird. Stop that. Okay, anyway, in pursuit of the other was frozen in place outside. She had watched the full event unfold in front of her. Oh no. Baby, speak to me, please. He's dead. Thanks, Father. Thank you. No, he's not. Look, he's still moving. Don't you hear him crying? You've gone mad. And you've gone deaf. We need to save our son. There's still hope left. Drive him to the hospital. His brains are all over the pavement. He has already left the world. No, he hasn't. You're a liar. Help me. But... Now, if you care about me and your children... He can't stay out here like this. Bring him inside before the neighbors come. We will deal with this later. It's okay. You can hug me tighter, darling. We didn't mean it. He's still alive. Oh no. Mommy, what's going on? Don't worry. There's just a little accident. But everything is going to be okay. I promise. We should replace his head. Quick, our garden. A pumpkin should be the next best size. Oh, this is... The perfect nuclear family. Torn apart, their lives would be forever changed. Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife but couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. Such a disturbing time to put a children's nursery rhyme in here. Well, it's grief. What's wrong with the mother is grief. The mother stood painting and admiring her creation, wiping off any blood from her hands onto her apron. It was a little crude, yes, but it worked better than she expected. Outside, the father stared into the sky while the daughter couldn't look away from the driveway mess. Her head hurt from crying her heart out. It's going to rain soon. It'll wash everything away, as if nothing happened. Are we really not going to do anything? I'll think of something. Daddy's tougher than you think. For now, humor your mother by going along. I'll be hosing down the driveway. Oh, God. I'm scared. I hate this. The father reassuringly patted her on the shoulder. This is not normal already. Though he was a man of few words, the father did love his wife, but most importantly, he loved his image. He didn't want his family to be branded as miscreants. They had just committed vehicular manslaughter. There had to be a way of disposing the body. Oh my God. This is weird. Dinner is ready, you two. Please come inside. Oh, dear. The two were greeted by the son, who was sitting in Grandpa's old wheelchair. The most bizarre sight, however, was a pumpkin in place of a human head, its face carved into a welcoming grin. One could see the remnants of the original crushed head within the holes. See? The head looks just like him. He said he likes his chair, but wishes it wasn't so squeaky. Dear, could you do me a favor and purchase some oil tomorrow? Of course. Well, everyone, don't just stand there catching flies. Let us wash our hands and begin the dinner prayer so we can eat. This is so dark. Oh my gosh, sorry, I have to mute a group chat because these people keep pinging me. Shut the heck up until I turn it back on. Okay. There was a little talk at the table, but what was there to say anyway? Despite the gloomy atmosphere, the mother was unusually lively. Here comes the airplane. She was spoon-feeding him. Ew, this This is so gross. The daughter grimaced at her, shoving mashed potatoes into the son's mouth. I'm gagging into the son's mouth. The girl looked at the father for guidance, but he did not return her gaze. I'm trying. I promise I'm trying. The daughter focused her attention back to the... Sorry, the fact that it's mashed potatoes really gets me. Mashed potatoes are like the perfect gay consistency. I'm trying to talk and I'm just gagging. Wait till it actually gets graphic. I'll just throw up on the floor. Max, are you ready for that snack? By the way, because this is my room, I do have Maximus here, so that's a plus. The daughter focused her attention back to the food on her plate. It smelled good, but the meat resembled an awful lot like her brother's. She dry heaved. Yeah, I've been doing it too. After silently washing the dishes with her mother, the daughter headed straight to bed. She had no energy left in her. There's 2 beds in her. It's rude leaving your brother at the table, you know. He's going to sleep with me? Of course. Why wouldn't he? You 2 have always shared the bedroom. Why is he so hard to move? All his joints are locked up, I swear. He was much more relaxed this afternoon. Using all of her strength, the grumbling mother laid the son in his bed. She first tucked in the son, then the daughter, making sure to kiss each of their foreheads. Sweet dreams, you 2. Good night, Mom. With the flick of the switch, the room fell into darkness. Even with the daughter's back turned, she knew those carved eyes were boring into her. Oh god, day 1. Have a good day at work. Remember what I've told you. Dear, that is final. Wake up, it's time for school. Her brother was still laying in the bed. So it wasn't a nightmare after all. As per usual, the mother tied the daughter's bow blue, her favorite color. Your brother needs to stay home for a while, so he can recover from his injuries. Listen, whatever you do, don't tell anyone what happened yesterday. It will be our family's little secret. Do you understand? Okay. I'm glad you're so well behaved. Mommy and Daddy are trying their best despite our predicament. This is... Oh my god. The girl shuffled off toward the school bus, completely bewildered at the mother's nonchalant attitude. After waving the daughter goodbye, the older woman returned to the house. Only the mother and the son remained. Thankfully, his body had loosened up again, so it was easier to carry him out of bed and into the wheelchair. Yeah, rigor mortis has unset, I guess. I know that it sets in, like, a couple hours after death? But not that long. And then it goes away. And as the body starts decomposing. Yay! Don't get so full of yourself. You still have to study at home. Oh, don't give me that look either. You know puppy dog eyes are my weakness. Today was typically the day she spent cleaning the entire house. Despite her being a stay-at-home mother, it was a full-time job taking care of the estate, not to mention her family. She pulled out the vacuum cleaner. Several hours of busy work would be enough to take her mind off yesterday's events. What? The vacuum cleaner was the scariest noise for me. Sorry, Well, I guess now's a good time to admit it. I am afraid of loud noises, and vacuum cleaners have scared me from literally the time I was born. But I do vacuum. Like, I do vacuum. It gets my heart going, my breathing, but I do vacuum. I'm just terrified of them. Anyway, moving on. Weird fear, I know. Are you thirsty? Would you like me to bring you a drink? You're not? That's fine. If you need anything, just call for me, and I'll be there in a jiffy. It was a lovely day today, and her son could use some fresh air. The mother pushed him out to the veranda beside the house. It faced the family's pumpkin patch, so no noisy neighbors could see him. Humming, the mother entered a comfortable cleaning rhythm, letting all worries slip away. Oh. The sky suddenly opened up. The mother was glad for the sudden rain. Their pumpkin patch desperately needed it. Wait, her son was still outside. Yeah, thunder jump scare. The mother dragged him inside and threw several towels on him. She pressed them up against him, drying him as fast as she could. What a fool she was! Taking him outside was a really bad idea. She promised herself she wouldn't slip up like that again. Oh dear, your clothes are soaking wet. I can't just have you catching a cold. I'm going to have to change them if that is all right with you. Dinner was again silent. The daughter was usually the daughter who was the chattiest, bragging forever about what she had learned in school or in her books that day. Now she was just poking her stew. It takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. The daughter refused to respond. Huffing in annoyance, the mother turned her attention to her husband. Your son and I had a great time together. He was very quiet, but did complete his required reading. I consider that great progress. I'm heading to the bar. Dear, but we haven't finished yet. I'll be back soon. Goodness, what has gotten into everyone? I don't know, miss. I don't know. Hard to tell. After dinner and its cleanup ended, the mother and daughter went their separate ways. The mother fell fast asleep, but in the daughter's bedroom, the girl was looking for any sign of life in her brother. Pale skin, dried blood around the neck, and a burgundy discoloration in the arms and hands. It just wasn't human. She reached out for his arm. Touching her brother was a familiar occurrence. Play fighting, sharing food, she interacted with him as any sibling would. Even if the two had spent hours in the snow, she had never touched a person so cold before. The daughter shrunk back. She lacked the heart to continue calling him her brother. The figure tucked gently into bed wasn't it. Without a word, she pulled the covers over the body. Pink, I don't know if you've been here from the start, but that was her brother. It's his body with a pumpkin head. If you haven't been here from the start, just making sure. It's school time. Please get dressed. Day 2. When the daughter awoke, she found the body back to leering at her. The blanket must have slipped off during the night, uncovering the head once more. A fly landed on the pumpkin. Hello? Who is this? Yes, I am the mother. Yes, ma'am, I assure you everything is fine with my son. He's been feeling a little under the weather lately. Thank you. Goodbye. The teacher on the phone sounded incredibly displeased. Timeliness and attendance had always been one of the family's virtues, so the mother was quite embarrassed. In addition, the mother felt guilty for not informing the teacher about her son's absence ahead of time, but her husband kept instructing her not to speak about her son's accident. The father did not return that night. To help alleviate the awkwardness, the mother attempted some small talk. So, how was your day today? Learn anything fun? Kind of. Was dinner to your liking? You need to eat your vegetables to grow big and strong. I guess. Your brother was telling me a funny story today about how you both accidentally broke a vase by playing tag. You were so horrified you ran out of the house and climbed a tree to hide. He tried to save you by climbing the tree, but ended up getting stuck there too. You two must have been up there for an hour by the time your father and I came home from the grocery store. I swear, you kids are always up to mischief when your parents are out of the house. Mix and this, don't do that. Thank you. The mother chuckled and spoon-fed some more broccoli till the son stopped feeding him. No, the house was starting to smell. It was musty, like meat starting to spoil. The daughter knew exactly what was causing that odor, and it made her stomach churn. After dinner we can put on the radio. The Lone Ranger might be on. You like cowboys, don't you? No, not really. I'm heading to bed. Fine then, your brother and I will enjoy the program without Miss Grumpy Pants. Day 3, this is... I had food with me, but I'm not going to be able to eat during the stream. Just putting that away. It's not happening today. The mother's first task of the day after sending the daughter and her husband off was to attend to her son. She hadn't noticed it before, but certain areas of the child's skin were discolored. It had the same green and blue hues of a bruise, but the eerie marbling patterns were nothing like she had ever seen before. At least it was faint. Were you playing with markers? Pulling out a sponge, she washed the spot, but it refused to scrub off. She retrieved her makeup kit to cover up the blemishes. Tomorrow, she would look for a stronger cleaner for his skin. Sweetheart, could you pass the salt to your brother? He looks like he needs some. The daughter hesitated, but he's... okay. I appreciate you being so well behaved since your brother's injury. It makes Mommy's job just a little easier. Don't worry, he will be back to running around with you in no time. Again, the father did not return for dinner. The daughter was beginning to think he had run away for good. She did not blame him, but why couldn't he take her with him? As the women were cleaning up, the door flung open. It was the father. The girl's nose crinkled at the heavy liquor smell coming from him. Home, headed to bed, no dinner needed. It took you long enough. I'm not happy. Our son needs you right now. She would win a gold medal, yeah. I don't want to hear you nagging, woman. I feel like this definitely takes place in, like, the 50s or 60s. This feels like 50s, 60s vibes. More 60s, I think. The daughter sprinted to her room before she became caught in the crossfire. She could already hear the screaming in the parents' bedroom. Knowing her mother, this could take hours. Oh, the music just stopped. Like the several days before, the siblings found themselves staring at each other in bed. It was becoming tough to look at him. The foulness of his scent made her eyes burn, like moldy salami. She failed to suppress the tremble as she noticed the white fuzz growing in the vegetable's eye. Ugh! No! No! She felt nothing but sympathy for the corpse. He deserved a proper burial like Grandpa, not kept around in this desecrated state. Brother, are you in heaven? Are you at peace right now? Day 5. The entire family was keeping to themselves in the living room. The father was reading a newspaper, the daughter playing with jacks, the son sitting silently in the corner, and the mother frantically running around spraying as much bug spray as she could. Ugh, there are flies everywhere. I am so sick of their buzzing. I don't know. Please bury your son. I'm worried that all of the noise is bothering our son. He needs as much sleep as possible to recover. Dear, do you think something went bad in the pantry? If you could help me move some boxes, I can clean it out today. Dear, are you listening? The father threw his newspaper on the floor. I'm tired of playing pretend. You are taking this too far. What do you mean? As in, I'm disposing of his body. Properly. I am digging his grave, and you will not stop me. Without hesitation, he left the room and returned with a shovel. He grabbed the wheelchair. The mother also latched onto it, pulling it to her side with all her might. Left and right, the bloated body was jostled between the parents, almost ready to topple over out of its seat. No! Leave him alone! You can't keep him like this. Yes, I can. He's our son. Stop scaring him. For heaven's sake, he's green and smells like sewage. Does that sound normal to you? The wife should always listen to the husband. Don't be foolish. Once he's buried in the pumpkin patch, we shall never speak of this again. Yeah, this definitely took place in another era, I sincerely hope. A couple inches to the right, and that china glass would have blinded him. Don't you dare take him away from me. Her outburst was completely uncharacteristic to the father and daughter, and it shocked them who or what had possessed the mother. Please, we can get you some help. You are being hysterical. The mother opened a nearby drawer and grabbed a large knife. She was a good cook and knew cutlery well. The woman looked terrified, shakily holding that knife, but wholly prepared to strike in defense. I will die before letting my children get in harm's way. You're a danger to us. I'll do it. I'm not afraid to do it. The father dropped the shovel, backing slowly away until he was trapped against the wall. Fortunately for him, the mother closed the distance between the two. That's right. You were the one who ran him over in the first place, so don't you dare lay another finger on his head, murderer. I've been following your every order, but look where that's gotten us. For the sake of the children, I think it's time you started listening to me. We're going to continue taking care of our son, because he had a nasty accident and needs our help. Do you understand? The wife raised the knife at his face. I said, do you understand? Yes, I understand. Don't hurt me. Good. Now we're going to have ourselves a nice little dinner. Any objections? What the hell? The room stayed silent. Mother's demeanor became gentler, but she continued to grip that knife as if her life depended on it. I'm glad. Sweetheart, please follow Mommy and help her out. We're returning your brother to the bedroom. I think things are a little too loud for him around here. You two have been so inconsiderate. Oh, God. Day 7. Happy birthday. Unwrap it already. Wow, a bike. Thank you. Sure thing, sport. How about we break it in after the party? Yes, please. This is the best day ever. Can I ride it too? No way. You still need training wheels. Mom, he's being mean. Don't get too rowdy. You still have to unwrap the last of your presents. Who else wants a slice of cake? Me. I think this is a flashback. This is definitely a flashback, yeah. Oh, God. The body. Are you mad at Mommy and Daddy for hurting you? Thank goodness. I feel so relieved. I always tell your daddy to be more careful when he's driving, but he never listens. The mother picked out another maggot and tossed it into the bin. It was starting to overflow, but at least she was making progress removing the squirming creatures. I know that feels much better, doesn't it? She was a patient woman. His healing process shouldn't take much longer. Day 10! No! No, 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 no. It was a little late today waking you up. Please get dressed as soon as possible. Bottle after bottle, the mother used her aerosol freshener to help air out the room. Thwack! With another hand, she squashed a scuttling beetle. By now she was certain that something went bad in the pantry, for there to be such a large bug infestation. As much as she wasn't looking forward to it, she may have to clean out the entire pantry. She smacked a fly who was resting on top of her son's head. Oh no. Oh my, I'm sorry for using the fly swatter on you. Did that hurt? While the mother was hard at work cleaning the house, the daughter nowadays avoided going inside as much as possible. Every day when she came home, her brother's body would be happily greeting her. She couldn't handle the rotting sights and smells anymore. The smell of his exudation was overpowering. Green and brown juices dripped from his head and soaked his clothes. It wasn't rotting meat or spoiled milk anymore. It was death. No kids wanted to be near her either. In the corner of her eye, she could always see them gag and hold their noses as if she was the deceased one herself. Are you sure you don't want to stay with me a little longer? I can't. I have to go back home to my wife. But you've been looking so stressed recently. Is everything okay at home? The father let out a deep sigh. Not particularly. Oh dear. Oh dear indeed. I haven't been treated the best recently. My wife has been so demanding, screaming at me for the littlest things. She's strutting around like she wears the pants in the house now. I can't get any peace and quiet in my own home. Oh no, he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. I just want the wife to get help. I need to show her who's boss. She can't keep pushing me around like this. I'm a man, for God's sake. I mean, right idea, wrong execution? I guess? I don't know. Like, you can't be pushed around like this. Like, you do need to get her to get help, but also you being a man isn't the reasoning for that, you know? Anyway, I wish you luck. You can always keep crawling back to me to lick your wound. Oh, interesting. Where have you been? It's rather late. Work. Our son was asking about you today, because you failed to show up for your supper again. You are worrying him sick. Every single day you talk about that blasted son. I don't like how you do your job and make the money. I take care of the house and kids. Why is that so hard for you to understand? Yet you call me foolish. He was humiliated from how quickly she shut him down. At least she couldn't dictate his actions outside of the home. He berated himself for his cowardice. Day 14. Oh, dear God. Darling, I'm so sorry that dinner was a little rushed. Taking care of your brother was consuming most of my day today. It was worse than rushed. More like she threw random ingredients, inedible or not, into the pot. This past week, it had seemed that most of her meals were ending in this similar fate. The daughter poked a semi-charred apple with her Scream. I can't scream. I can't go that high, sorry. There was a maggot. A maggot living in her food. Oh my, what have I told you about not washing your hands before you eat? You need to wash them more frequently. Were you playing outside? Stop it already. How can you two continue pretending everything is normal? Dear, tell her that everything is normal. The father looked like he was in a trance, rhythmically chewing his food without a care in the world. Listen to your mother more. She is correct. It's not true. Why do you insist on talking back? You're a child. You don't understand anything. Treat your parents with some respect. The mother began to spoon-feed the body again, the spoon's contents also heartily containing maggots. A milk-white maggot slipped from the softening pumpkin head and landed onto the spoon, oblivious to the mother. Yummy, isn't it? Oh God, she was going to retch. I'm going to my room. As you should. No supper for the rest of the night. The daughter was forced to cart the body back into their bedroom, making sure to avoid the slimy body as little as possible. His abdomen, distended beyond belief, was straining to rip through his clothes. The gorging insects were taking delight in how he was a balloon ready to pop. Who knew what putrid horrors were trapped inside him? The girl fell to her knees weeping. Mother kept saying everything was fine. Of course it wasn't. What would she give to return to normalcy? Whatever did she do to deserve this torture? If only she and her brother hadn't been roughhousing when the car came. When she looked up, the body was now facing away from her, giving her some semblance of privacy during her grief. Or was he always facing that way? She couldn't remember. Of course there would be no response, yet she still felt the urge to say something. I miss you, brother. I miss you so much. Day 17. I am going to interject with a quick story. I have actually seen a body decompose to this state, not a human body. I feel like I need to reiterate that. It was actually a chicken, with the bugs crawling in and out. I feel like this is an okay time to share this story because the story itself is graphic in the same way. So the chicken had a disease, and we were keeping it in sort of a separated area of the coop. And then one day, it was sitting kind of still, and we were like, okay, that's pretty good. She must be resting and getting better. Another day we came back, and she was moving. But she was still sitting there, so we went over, and she was moving and rippling because of all of the bugs in her skin. And we thought she was dead, and she was still alive. She was being eaten alive by bugs. It was the most disgusting thing I have ever seen in my life. They were moving her skin and her feathers, we thought she was rustling. Just digging herself deeper, about to have a semi-dust bath or something. We thought she was fine, but she was not. So yeah, gross. But also, this is exactly what that body is starting to do. We did kill the chicken to put her out of her misery because you can't come back from that. But it was ugh. We checked on her every day, and she seemed like she was getting better. We were just, watching her, and then one day we got in, we didn't know that there were bugs under her feathers slowly eating her. We did not know. But, sorry for the coughing. I am sick. Okay, school, now. Oh, jeez. Another day, another garbage bag full of empty bug spray. The mother dabbed away any leakage from the son's body. Alongside some flaky apothecary? 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 I don't know that word. Sorry. Lovely coughing. It was too much of a mess moving him in and out of the wheelchair anymore. Not to mention ruining her upholstery, so she might as well clean him where he sat. You need to take care of yourself more. The last time I sponge bathed you was when you were a wee baby. Not to say you're still Mommy's little baby. She was frustrated with how many rags it took to maintain her son's cleanliness. He was slowly making his way through her favorite dish rags. The pelican-patterned one she was using was soaked with murky browns and greens. Her poor pumpkin seemed to be covered in greasy black substance. It wasn't his job to clean the stovetop. The mother jabbed harder against his arm, accidentally scraping off a small section of skin. Oh no, she groaned when more fluid oozed from the spot. Your sister has been refusing to help with laundry. Can you believe it? I wish she was as well behaved as you. No one else wants to spend time with dear old Mom. That's why you've always been Mommy's favorite. Oh! What the? Excuse me. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Hello? Yes, this is the mother. What? My daughter said that? About that, I think a raccoon died in the walls. We're going to have to get it looked at. Yeah, she's just overreacting. Children have such vivid imaginations. Her fist clenched. That girl. Because the school bus had long since left, the mother had to drive to school to pick her up. They drove back in silence with the daughter awkwardly fidgeting. The mother looked like she was going to blow a gasket. Okay, explain yourself. Your teacher said that you were insistent on not returning home because there's a corpse in our house. Do you know how embarrassed I was? But it's true. There are insects crawling all over him in the house. I don't know how much more I can take. I feel so sick. The mother glanced at the body. What's that, darling? She's being quite rude. Yes, I agree with you. Mom, he's dead. He will never respond. When will you do something about it? It's awful living here. What a horrible thing to say about your brother. I thought I raised you better than that. Everything has gone downhill since he died. You don't do my hair bow anymore. The food is rotten. Daddy barely ever comes home, and I can't stand all the smell. I know you're so grieving, but when will you ever get it through your thick head? The mother's eyes widened at the reddening of her hand to her weeping daughter on the floor. The woman had spanked both of her children for misbehaving before, but she had never stricken their faces. You hit me. Sweetie, I didn't mean it. I don't know what came a hold of me. You know I'm so stressed from taking care of your brother. I don't know who you are anymore, but you're not my mom. I hate you. Darling. No, you can't hide this anymore. I'm telling the police about you and my brother. She sprinted to the phone, but the mother grabbed her by the hair. Pain seared through the girl's body. You insolent child, after everything I've done for you. It hurts, Mother, it hurts. You're going to rip my scalp off. A prepubescent girl had no physical power over a fully grown woman. The daughter was dragged across the wood floor, using all of her strength to attempt to release herself. When the mother reached the children's bedroom, she threw the girl inside. The door locked. Let me out! I'm begging you! He is so tired. The poor wretched girl banged again on the door. To no avail. The mother wasn't even listening to her. And I'm sure you're tired of the argument as well. Daddy disagreed for a while, but he eventually learned that Mommy always knows best. All we have to do is wait a bit longer until your brother heals up. You believe Mommy, don't you? I need to tell your father about this. He will not be pleased. No, sorry. If you were truly sorry, you would have been a better sister. You can be that now. That night, the daughter had a nightmare. Maggots covered every square inch of her body, twisting and writhing to find any way to burrow deeper inside. She would have screamed if her mouth wasn't equally stuffed with maggots. The white worms slithered across the remains of her tongue, bashing against the walls of her pumpkin head, trying to escape. Yeah, the music is really loud. I keep turning it down, but it keeps coming back up. I don't know what to do about that. I'm sorry. I keep turning it down on my end for my own ears, but I guess I can try. I can't really get to preferences from here. Oh, I can. press. We'll bring it down to here. We'll see how that goes. The white, tiny mouth. She could feel the tiny mouths eating away at her, bite by bite. Hello there, my sweet baby boy. I was just checking up on you. Did I disturb your sleep? No. She wasn't her brother. Leave her alone. You haven't fallen asleep yet? Are you having trouble? I can read you a bedtime story if you would like. Which would you want to hear? If I remember correctly, the Ugly Duckling is your favorite? She sat down next to the daughter, unaware of the slimy, squirmy creatures crawling their way onto the hem of her dress. Buzzing blowflies danced above the two. And she began to read. The air was suffocating. Good night. May you have sweet dreams. She kissed the pumpkin. Dark slime clung to her lips from her sweet goodnight smooch. The room fell into darkness, leaving the daughter alone, coughing and gagging into the night. Day 20. Yes, ma'am, my daughter's at home too. The kids' measles have gotten pretty bad, but they should be returning to school any day now. Yes, of course I've been homeschooling them in the meantime. What do you think I've been doing this entire time? My babies will be back when they're ready, not a day sooner. You can stop calling now. The mother was exhausted from the incessant phone calls. Just yesterday the electric company had threatened to shut down the power if the bills weren't paid, but she knew she had paid them. The son's skin looked even worse today, concerningly worse. His skin was a soaked paper towel, tearing just as easily. The mother brought out more of her makeup kit, ready to powder all of the putrefaction. Though unlike her previous attempts, her skin refused to obey. Like a silk glove, the skin slipped off, landing silently on the ground. The ease of such a feat shocked her. Then more and more and more, until he was resembling some bloated lizard emerging from his mold. With each opening, a drip of black stew-like goo kept trickling down his limbs. The sound design is very good. No, don't do this. She pressed her hands against him to hamper any further sloughing. In retaliation, a geyser of thick fluid spurt from his torso, accompanied by air too foul to describe. Ah! Finally, the stream of bodily decrease came to a rest. The child in front of her was partially deflated, sagging further into his soaked seat. This wasn't good. Why wouldn't her husband take their child to the hospital? The mother was damn near ready to herself, but she knew the jostling trip would make things worse. Even the lightest touch of her hands was not safe anymore. Tears welled in her eyes. What more could she do? On the contrary, the son's face was twisted into some relieved grin. The tired woman looked down. Her dress hem was dyed in an assortment of dark fluid. Touching her dress only further coated her hands in the mucus. After the mother spent the rest of the day cleaning the mess, she bathed and went to bed. Any time the daughter's door was unlocked, it was to slip in food. The timing was irregular, making it difficult to calculate when she would escape. She could hardly eat the food anyway. Not one meal passed without a wiggling maggot hitting inside. Being trapped in this festering room made her entire body itch. She brushed off a hungry fly crawling on her arm. Their usual food source had been relocated to the living room for several days, but they were more than happy to bother her. The daughter remembered Job, a figure from the Bible. Despite all the suffering and adversity he was given, he never gave up hope, and was rewarded in the end. She could make it through this too. One power the daughter had over her mother was retaining her wits. The police are here? But why? The mother glanced at the rooms behind her. Hide him, and make sure the police don't hear the children. Good afternoon, officers. What business do you have here? Excuse me, ma'am, we're called here today because of a smell complaint. One of your neighbors isn't happy. Yes, sirs, everything is all right. We've been having all sorts of pest problems and we're doing everything we can to clean them out. Insects in the pantry, raccoons in the walls, it's all a living nightmare. Phew, I sure can smell it. Do you have a stinky cheese factory hidden in there? The three awkwardly chuckled. The caller also mentioned that your son hasn't been seen in a while. Yes, it's a case of the measles, I'm afraid. He hasn't been improving as quickly as I hoped. I've been so weary, everything seems to be piling up. My husband keeps saying he doesn't have time to help, he's always working. The mother wiped her eyes as the policemen lowered their hats to their chests. Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. We won't bother you any more. Our best wishes for your son getting better. Thank you. You're too kind. I'll be sure to tell him. The daughter's mouth was gagged with an old sock. Behind her, her father was tying her arms with rope. The man had little idea how to do it, was trying to barbarically force the limbs in a position they shouldn't go. Your mother cares about us. You know that, don't you? You can see how much she loves your brother. She'll come around and then we can go back to being family. Why did her father keep listening to that monster? The daughter let out a muffled wail. Finally, the man turned to stare at her. Instead of a cold glare, he looked pained from heart. He placed what might have been a loving hand on her shoulder. He seemed too lost to tell. Yes, that's it. She was his child, remember? Surely he realized what he was doing to her. Look. Any trace of empathy vanished when he heard the returning high heels of Mother. What took you so long? Come with me to the entrance. Her arms were bright red from struggling against the rope. No, don't leave her. On the opposite side of the room, the son's untied body was walking. A large section of hand, ligament, and muscle dribbled onto the wheelchair seat. Eventually, the police drove away. The parents did not return to unbind her. Was it because they had forgot? Or do they know she would attempt to escape again? Day 25. This is not going where I thought it would go. I mean, I knew the sun was going to keep decomposing, but I didn't know we were getting this far. Both the father and mother were staring at the black limb on the floor. It was soft and delicate, like wet tissue paper. Likewise, the child was rapidly falling apart, his mushy pumpkin head barely attaching to the neck. I thought after receiving his new head, he would be recovering, but every day he gets worse and worse. What's wrong? What should we do? That's it. What if we replace the body, too? His body wasn't compatible with the head, so we should find a new body, that is. The neighbor's son. They're the same age. Bring the child here tonight and don't keep me waiting. Our son needs his body more than that there brat does. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh no. The daughter was awoken by the muffled sounds of struggling and whimpering. What was going on? A child's scream in the basement answered her question. Would she be next? The daughter did the only thing she could think of. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women. Footsteps grew closer to your bedroom. O Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners. Your mother wants to see you. No, no! There was an uninvited person in the basement, and he was dead. The fresh pumpkin on his head was even fresher. Her parents really did kill someone. In the corner, her brother's body was callously cast aside. Look, darling, your brother is all better now. Aren't you happy? We don't have to worry anymore. The mother stepped toward the daughter, completely drenched in blood. The daughter wanted to vomit, but the father held her still, unable to run away from her maniacal matriarch, that's the word. I'm so glad you agree. Things will finally go back to normal. Don't forget you have school tomorrow, so you can take your brother with you. She was prancing around the wheelchair beyond proud of her newest work. The daughter knew that within a month the body would finish rotting, and all the torment would begin anew, while the mother spoke the new corpse was already turning pale. I was so busy preparing for today that I completely forgot about dinner. It may be the middle of the night, but how about we have ourselves a celebratory meal fit for a whole family? The police? And this soon? You absolutely good-for-nothing husband, I should have done it myself. The father simply bowed his head. You've always been so oafish, and thanks to you, you've now ruined it for all of us. Do not let them down here, or they'll take our son away from us. The parents were distracted. Now was your chance. As hard as she could, the daughter bit down on her father's hand, drawing deep blood. He jumped back as the girl burst from his arms and beelined up the stairs. You better rethink that right now. The mother had her butcher knife around the other child's neck. If you leave us, I'll kill him. You wouldn't want to be responsible for your brother's death again, would you? That would make Mummy very sad. I'm not afraid to do it. Don't take another step. For a split second, the daughter almost pitied her mother. Throughout the entire month, the mother kept denying and making excuses, completely delusional that nothing was wrong with her other child. Even now, she was treating this decapitated corpse like a hostage with value. Huh? What's that, darling? You want me to kill her instead? That does make sense. I've always loved you more anyway. The older woman faced her daughter, her knife already poised to attack. She wasn't kidding. Sweetheart, listen to your mother. Come down these stairs right now. You've already caused her enough trouble. The daughter was so close to escaping. Her legs refused to move. Gloria? Her heart was ready to burst out of her chest. She knew that voice anywhere. Brother? In the corner of the room, a figure turned his pitiful face toward her. But how? He was supposed to be dead. I'm sorry. Everything turned out this way. It wasn't your fault. Gloria, you need to run. Now! And with those last words, his body collapsed back to the floor, bursting into blackened sludge. Now, he was truly gone. That closure was just what she needed. With no more time to spare, the daughter grit her teeth and sprinted up the rest of the stairs. Out of the house, she barreled into a policeman's arms. The mother's howling was already far in the distance. Hey, be careful, that's a child. Are you hurt? What is your name? It had been so long since the last time she touched a warm human being. Her resilience was finally rewarded. Don't worry, young lady. We'll take care of this. You're safe now. You cover the seeds with dirt, sprinkle some water every so often, and they'll be ripe for picking in October. Wow, that's so cool. What's the biggest pumpkin you've ever grown? Hard to say. Maybe the size of our car? No way, Daddy. You're such a liar. The father chuckled. But I have won a blue ribbon at the state fair before. You should have seen the look on your mother's face. Having fun out there? Yeah, Daddy's showing us how to grow crops. No, this is a flashback. Dinner's on the table. You three better hurry or it'll get cold. Last one in's a rotten egg. Wait up, you had a head start. Daddy, why are you running too? Your legs are longer. It's not fair. The mother put up a valiant struggle in staying with her deceased victims, but she was eventually dragged away, kicking and screaming. Ultimately, she was institutionalized. The father was charged with kidnapping and shortly afterwards committed suicide in prison. No one would mourn his death. With no family left to claim guardianship over the daughter, she was simply shipped to the nearest orphanage. For the longest time, the tragedy became the talk of the town. Who could have known that the quiet but kind-hearted family were hosts to monsters? It was rather lonesome in the orphanage. No matter how many times the daughter bathed herself, fellow children constantly remarked about her repugnant smell. She couldn't tell if it was because they were mocking, or if the girl truly could never wash away the scent of death from her lips. Poor child, you can't begin to imagine her pain. Don't worry, we'll find a good family to take care of you. At least the nuns were kind enough to ignore her smell. She was able to make friends with one of the older nuns, who was well known throughout the place for her baking skills. I baked a nice pumpkin pie today. Would you like a piece? Eek! Shoo, you silly fly! This pie is not for you. I'm sorry, they're such a nuisance. The flies have been unusually bold recently, and I don't know why. If you would like, I can cut you another slice of the pie for you. Toss it, please. Are you sure? I'm begging you, I can't bear to look at it anymore. As you wish, my dear. Oh my god. That was dark as hell. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow. That's all I can say about that one. It did go shorter than I predicted. Here, let's do... Maybe I shouldn't have called the stream that. That was gross, and it was very sad and terrifying. Let's see if I can do the fancy thing. Would you guys like me to play another game tonight? I will make a poll, because it is only 11, and I do tell you guys that I will stream for 2 hours. So this I think that one was terrifying, but I'm gonna put out there, for my own personal reasons, the scariest one that I have actually seen, that we've actually done on Twitch.
Two kids
Almost with certainty. I say almost with certainty for various reasons, but Killer Love was terrifying. Oh, you want a non-scary game? Here, I'll make a poll. I just opened it up on my computer. I almost hit. Let's do a poll. New poll, not should Jill kill off it. Let's see. Let's do a duration of 3 minutes. Okay, let's go. New poll. What are you guys thinking we should do? And then after, the worst thing is that I am up. It is 11. Yeah, so it is 11 p.m. That is correct. That game is absolutely terrifying. Let's see. I have a few games in my back pocket, as I do have that. Oh, this was from the Ukrainian bundle, by the way, on Itch, I think it's called. I don't know what it's actually called. But I got it there. So, there are some of those. So I've got horror games, I've got non-horror games, I've got lots of things. I'm actually sweating from that last one. It's fine. But yeah, what did you guys think of that one? And is there any other cool games that you want me to play? Also, if you guys look in the Ukrainian bundle on Itch, I think it's called, I still keep messing it up. Let me know what you think. If there's a game on there like, wow, I think it would be really cool if you played that. So. Yeah, I'm gonna oopsies, stare at the poll for a minute. Why are people pinging me? Oh, yes. No, shush. I'm not doing this right now. And then we will see what we are going to do. It was terrifying, and it wasn't like... It was terrifying in the sense of its psychological horror, not just like jump scares, which is what we've been doing the past couple ones. It's one that's going to sit with you a while and decompose in your head, if you will. It's gonna fester in there. It's... You agree with that, Max? Yeah, it's a good horror story. Poll ended. Results. View results. What are you guys thinking? 100% of you said horror game. Okay, let's see what horror games are in store. Oh my gosh. Okay, I will be back. I have the perfect game. I have the perfect game for all of us. I should stop laughing. I will see you guys very soon. Au revoir. Goodbye. I'll be back in, let's say I'll be back at some time. Okay. Bye-bye. I need to open OBS and hit stop stream before